What up, people? Welcome everybody. A stream again after like 2 or 3 weeks. I decided to do a setup Friday instead of I was doing them on Sundays before, but now I'm gonna do, let's say, one on Friday. Let's build some car setups. We're gonna start out with the Audi. I absolutely found a secret formula to make this predictable and steady. Yo, GT Gamer, The Ripper, Leon, and Insula. Welcome, people. Hello. Will you upgrade the pack 296? So, how you wanna upgrade it, Insula? Tell me. Is there something missing? Leon, how's the boat going? Back at Arnouts Garage. Yes, mate. Welcome, welcome. The boat's a little bit on hold. Yeah, it's I'm not burning out on anything, but it's just became too much. YouTube, boat building, work, family. I really want to focus on sim racing now before the summer. Then I'm going to enjoy the boat and then we'll see. What do you think of the new LFM calendar? Well, to be honest, I was thinking like, oh yeah, we're going to make the first few races. We're going to build setups. But that's for the Patreon people. On Sunday, the calendar will be there. But what I will do in this live stream, I will build a few setups for the Audi, or I'm like trying to change a little bit and make it predictable and show everybody how this Audi can work. And then a lot of times, like the last few months, like 8 weeks, I was building car setups from high and low downforce. And I was not super concerned with lap time, but if I build them on Spa, I get a real good idea on what top speed is like good on a long straight. And then I will make those cars predictable. And then I have this high and low downforce preset to work from. And then whenever I go, like say on Brandhatch or Imola, I will use these presets and then determine if I want to go for high or low downforce. And I only need to do like minor tweaks. So that's the idea. We need the same we got, I don't know, helping on space as well. No, I mean in the future patch, we're going to change balance of setup. Yeah, definitely. I only have like the McLaren, Ferrari, and the Austin, and maybe I'm gonna add this Audi as well. Like, but there's not really a high or low downforce for this Audi, so we it's always high downforce. Yeah, that's always good, I believe, still. And if there's stuff like same as Arnouts Preset, if it's gonna be like different with game updates. But I'm not worried, yeah. And if that's gonna happen, I will update them. I need help with the Mustang, Ferrari, and the Porsche. We're gonna drive the Porsche as well, Leon. Definitely. I feel confident for the LFM license. The Mustang doing a great comeback. Good. Like deployed, Arnold. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Likes are always great. So let's get into some laps, shall we? So. I have already 5 levels for the Audi, and I'm gonna drive a couple of laps on Spa. I will do that in my own practice session. I'm not super sure. I don't believe it has that much balance of performance on LFM anymore, because I believe the game nerfed it a little bit. And I've seen some tracks, it's like only like 10 kilos or 20 kilos. So I'm not really worried about this. So let's get let's start a little bit with this Audi. I'm going to show the setup. Thank you, mate. That pack is amazing anyway. Nice, mate. I'm really appreciate that you purchase it, because there's a little bit of an like you can give stuff away for free, and you can this one I really dedicated, and I'm really happy that you're happy with it. Yeah, love the auto. Same. The TC is shit. Yeah, you need to be careful on throttle, Ripper. So I have the different levels, and I also explain the levels a little bit. So level 4 is really good. There was somebody in our Discord community who was testing this out. He was really happy, and I've seen that with this setup. I'm just gonna drive a few laps. Dampers, not really special. I found that when you put a lot of wheel rates on the front, we don't get that snap-on oversteer on entry, and I'm really starting to think different about the anti-roll bar, because let's say a lot of setups, they carry a high anti-roll bar, and it's very tempting to believe that you need to do this for every car, because a high anti-roll bar will make like a great aero balance for your car. But I feel like maybe 1 on an Audi will be the same as a 4 on an Aston Martin, or the sliders don't work linearly. So maybe 1 is like 80% strength and 4 is like 90% strength. So this is really a thing. I'm also going to make a video about it, how sliders not always really tell you what's going on. Like same for the rear bump stop ranges. Some cars you can put to the max and you don't really even feel the difference. This car you feel the difference though. I'm also going to explain how this level can be more safe and how it can be more like aggressive on throttle or on entry. So let's do a lap. I'm not sure about the tire pressures though. They seem that the back needs to be a little bit more. Electronics 2 and 2. Okay. Let's also, the goal is not getting these super lap times. Maybe I will switch to VR to show you the difference in my pace, because it really feels like cheating. RD overlay is good. Can everybody see the lap time? I also wanted to provide this overlay, so yeah. Oh, first I'm screwing up something. 1 moment. Okay, over here. I work way too much. Can't waste time studying on my own setup. I only change something with your setup. Change, fine, it's great. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with setups. Yeah, they take a lot of time, but they don't have to if you have some presets. And I really feel there is a lot of satisfaction and control in your driving when you do know to change a few things. You also have in the setup pack like the setup helper. There's only like 3 things you need to worry about. So let's get some laps in, and I also need to adjust my driving to the flat screen. I also want to show you how steady this Audi setup really is. A lot of times when you're in an Audi, you are tempting to shift down too early. Me myself are I also do that myself sometimes. So now this is the level 4 setup. You can see how it's a little bit understeering on this corner, and also explain how that can be sort of removed. Now you need to be careful with throttle and braking input somewhat. You can see it's a little bit stepping out. But over here we can keep the throttle, full throttle on that exit. It's very important on Spa to get into some decent lap time. Snap by Dan, hey man, what's up? I've been checking you out in your streams lately. You have a very relaxed vibe, and I've seen you driving the Audi, and I see how competitive you are with it, and I just couldn't like let that happen, that I'm not able to do that. So maybe I'm gonna drive this Audi the whole season, but I need to get used to it though. So Dan, do you switch to 6th gear on our Rouge like I'm doing here? I'm curious. And on top speed, like almost hitting 270. I don't think like a McLaren or a Mustang will overtake us maybe, but I like the sound and the look, and what I like the most about the Audi is that nobody else is driving it. And yeah, being a little bit stubborn in the field and the black sheep, I really enjoy that, to be honest. I don't want to be another brick in the wall, you know? Just validate some laps here, so don't worry, it's not the pace, but I have full control over this setup. Now the only problem that I'm finding is that I'm having somewhat of understeer when I'm in the fast corners. And I will also show you how I'm going to fix this. And let's do on my left, like over here as well. The mid corner, it's not really that bad, but in the super fast corners, then we actually have a little bit of that understeer. You hold 5 until top. You do, yeah? Okay, interesting. Because you need to shift like 8,000 RPM. I've seen somewhere on a graphic. Yeah, man. Thanks for dropping by, Dan, and I'll see you around. Maybe on the Sim Cafe or whatever. Okay, clean lap, okay? On the screen, I'm predicting like a 218 and 0.5, and in VR I can do a 217.5 with this car. And then we go to the garage, and then I will show you how I can make it more aggressive, and I will show you how to make it less aggressive. So let's like fifth gear then said. And validate it, of course. Yeah, okay, so maybe that's changing the balance a little bit on our Rouge. I'll be back. All right, mate. Good luck with your daughter, yeah? So you can see, like, I'm talking and I'm just joking around a little bit, and I'm like looking at the chat, and I didn't really have an issue with the Audi. Yes, obviously I invalidated a little bit, but it's because more of the understeer on throttle and fast corners. But if I'm in VR, it's like having a cheat code, so I will actually be quicker. Now over here as well. If you have the inside more than enough, then you don't have that understeer problem. A little bit of a rotation. Now maybe I will not be super quick, so I will lose some rating on LFM, but I'm just looking at this like in the big picture, doing a full season in the Audi. Yeah, Audi of the Porsche, one of the other, so I don't know what lap time this is going to be, but we're hitting like a 218.3, which is, for me, not in being in VR. I'm not really sure how much of the LFM BOP will be, but it won't be similar what lap time, maybe a few tenths slower. So let's go look at that setup. So the tires, I think they were a little bit on the high side. I'll drop that a little bit. Pop. Now, if you want to make this on exit a little bit more rotating in the super fast corners, then you have like two options. You could just increase the ride height with 1 millimeter, and that will change the aero balance a little bit forward. But what you also could do is decrease the bump stop range by a few clicks. Now, I really feel if that is too much, this is also going to change the balance of the car overall a little bit. So on throttle behavior, it will be somewhat more oversteery. But if you actually don't want that much and you're really struggling in the fast corners, I'm gonna increase the wheel rates or the bump stop rates. This will be when the wheel is compressed, it will be on this rubber, and now it's going to be stiffer. So we're gonna overload the tires a bit more in fast corners. So we get rotation in fast corners. I requested to Patreon to delete my account. They said yes, and my account is still alive. That's not fair. How's that? Why do you want to delete your account, mate? What's the deal here? Okay, so let's try this out. Yeah, a few more laps, and then we're gonna go to the Porsche because I'm building that setup with low and high downforce, and then you can take that as a preset to different tracks. Okay. It's just for. So this was like the level 4 setup. The level 5 setup has actually more bump stop range or more bump stop rates. That's actually the only difference at this point. So what's now gonna happen with the higher bump stop rates is that we're gonna overload the rear tires in fast corners, and therefore it will slightly lose some grip, and that will be like a compromised way of changing the setup to get a certain behavior. So that changes we don't really feel now because these rates aren't really affected in these corners, but if we like hit blanchiment and we go on throttle, then we should really feel that effect. At least that's the idea, yeah. Oh, don't worry, mate, about subscriptions. So, a little bit of cold tires. Let's also test that with that last exit corner on the on this straight, like before we hit the straight. Still super clean, full throttle. Still somewhat understeer, but we do not really have the temperatures yet. So one more lap, and then we pivot to the Porsche. I'm choosing Porsche or the Audi, one of both. Probably this one, but I also want to explore the Porsche more because it's just so much fun. No, I'm finished with the Lambo, the Ripper. I finished the season off with the Lambo, and I'm gonna just like stay away from it a little bit. In the Lambo, it was one of my most difficult seasons, to be honest, because yeah, I could be super quick, but I was lacking consistency, really. I was like, sometimes I made a mistake. Also in Kilami, I made quite a lot of mistakes in the Lambo. And like in the Aston Martin, I could do like lap times in the 40s, and in the Lambo, I could not get below like 41s, like high 41s. So yeah. I don't know if you notice anything, but you see how I'm not now invalidating the lap, so I got that tiny bit of rotation on the corner exits, which makes me not invalidate those laps. So just lifting here to keep that lap clean. I'm also curious what the lap time is going to do. had to lift a little bit. Oops. So 217.8 on the flat screen. I'm not super sure how much LFM like BOP stuff is going on, like how much weight they put in. But on the flat screen, for me to do a 217 like this, I know in VR I can even squeeze out more, so it will be like 217. Not alien lap times, but good enough. This setup is actually the level 5 setup that I will put also in the Patreon store. This one you can just take over, you know, if you want to see how this setup is for everybody to watch. Have a look, be more aggressive, jack up that rear ride height, be less aggressive, just put it down, and you don't really have to worry about a whole lot of things. Brake bias pretty high. Also the brake bias, a lot of people say put low brake bias, you'll be faster. Also in the Porsche, I found if I put like more neutral brake bias and I get the overall balance right, I don't really feel anymore that a super low brake bias is gonna help me out. Maybe that will be super alien stuff. Like that will maybe squeeze out the most lap time. But I think like you and me are like maybe guys in the chat as well. We only can do like 2-3 races a week. So for me, chasing meta alien style setups, it's not really, it's quite pointless to be honest. Okay, let's get into the Porsche. I hope I can contribute in the future. Yeah, man, just don't worry, man. You're there, you're following, leave some likes on videos or whatever, comments, share my content. I mean, that will be enough, yeah. I put like in the Patreon store, different levels now on like subscriptions. I put like an insane subscription as well. And I'm actually not thinking that anyone would go for this. But let's say there's like a billionaire or something who wants to support me, then at least he can. Yeah, then those people will maybe think like, oh, this I can actually pay this guy. So who knows? Probably billionaires will drive real race cars, so probably not gonna happen. But anyways, Porsche 992. Hey, thank you, mate. G5 MDS, how should I call you? Earth Explorer. Do you have your own player club to play? You mean like the server? I don't have a server yet. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the server. I'm not really knowledgeable on how to build a server, but if anyone would have a server now in the chat, we can go in that multiplayer and then I will just go there, just put Spa there and then you know, we could be in there. I'm also exploring this. I really want to, like these, like there will be community races. Currently, I'm joining like maybe the Road to Racer or Jeff the Sim Cafe. Those guys, they have all these servers and they have all this like ranking, stewarding. They have everything set up. And for me, it's just like I want to provide you with tips and setup tips and driving tips and how to be faster, understand sim racing. And for me to put on more work on servers and private game lobbies, that's just something I cannot handle at the moment. Porsche. I'm still waiting for a livery, so somebody's gonna make a livery for me. Yeah, I have a Discord. I believe if you go to my channel, then it's going to be there. Yeah, just have a look on the channel. Like, there's my email and like Patreon and whatever. You could find a Discord link there. My puppy car, yes, Leon. But thanks for the support, G5 MDS. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's go. So I was screwing around with this quite a while back. I made this one with these dampers and super high anti-roll bar, and with the philosophy of having super low bump stop ranges, and like this was what I was thinking at the time with negative toe, but I came up with something new, and that's this one. The front toe A lot of people say you need to drop this. It gives responsiveness and turn in, but then sometimes we don't really want turn in, do we? So maybe 0. I'm not sure. I still need to figure this out as I'm learning this car. 3 rear wing on Monza, but not on Spa. So this will be James. I'm testing them on Spa, and I will show you this process with the Porsche now. This was already something I've built, so I'm just going to continue with this. I found that the preload differential really helps with this car, like having it on 200. Again, anti-roll bar, I was making them super stiff, but now I'm reconsidering this idea, and now I'm just putting them, like, I believe I did 1 or 2. I have a pretty high brake bias for Porsche. A lot of people would disagree. I'm gonna go for these values. I also need to check the tire pressures. What do we have? I need to check those. This will be a level 4 downforce setup. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna test this. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna make a low downforce setup and a high downforce setup. And just by feel how they drive, and on the straight, on Camel Straight, I can really determine if this car is gonna be too slow or too fast on the straights, because that's what will be really important in the races. You might lose a half a second in corners, but at least you won't be overtaken on the straights. And that's the most frustrating thing in sim racing. Being a sitting duck on the straight is an absolute nightmare. 52. Okay. Yeah, well, that's pretty close, GT Gamer. So, brake bias, like I've seen a lot of comments on Porsche that we put very low brake bias, but I get into trouble with low brake bias. I cannot control this. I'm not used to this yet. Maybe I will do a half a season with this car, and then, yeah. So let's just stop the talking and start driving. Yeah, okay, the overlay, it's not ideal, but I will use like this. I can see now the tire pressures are off. Tire pressures. And this one should be a bit high. I don't know. This could be lower. Something like this. We need to have a look. Hi-oh. Hey, what car do you recommend for just consistency over a stint? Aston Martin, mate. Aston Martin. Every day of the week. Yeah, well, when you know, when I want to have, like, if I want to have, like, let's say I'm not having my best day and I'm lacking a little bit of sharpness, then I will drive the Aston Martin and I will just beat everybody on consistency. Yeah, super easy to drive, very forgiving. On throttle, it behaves really well, in my opinion. It's a little bit of a boat. It's understeery by nature. And it's a little bit slow from the start. So the first gear is pretty long gear. This car I would not do. What about Lamborghini? The way I was setting it up, the biggest problem with the Lamborghini is, like, it's slow on straights. And it's not like a little bit slow on straights, it's super slow on straights. So if you have Spa, you need to run that car with a very low wing. And then you're not going to be competitive on straights, but you're going to be managing. And you're going to have a hard time in the corners because it will get pretty slippery with that low rear wing. But on the tracks like Laguna Seca, or you have like Hungaroring, or you have circuits with a lot of corners, the qualifying lap can be amazingly fast. I could do like 59s like easy on Suzuka, for instance, with high downforce setup. Now obviously in the race I had to took some wing off, but then I was still pretty competitive. But yeah, 1, 2 and third gear in the Lambo will be quick, and then it just loses its power. And then after that, with low wing settings, then on the straight it will be kind of okay, but like, let's say Paul Ricard or Monza, you're gonna really hurt in a Lambo. So a little bit understeer here, we don't have the proper press yet. No, that's what I'm saying. I did drive the Lambo like a whole season, and yeah, we really got to know each other, yeah. And that car is just, yeah, it's losing power after the third gear. So okay, so a little bit of understeer, under braking. That's a little bit of a brake bias issue. Let's see if we can tune around this. Low downforce setting. Let's go for a lap, a clean lap. We'll try to do a clean lap. I will get there in a bit, Earth Explorer with understeer, okay? I'll miss shifting here. Oops. So this Porsche, we have a nice balance for Arnouts. That's really good. And now we're gonna have a look at top speed. The exit was not great because I misshifted. But on Spa, I want to hit at least, like, I want to hit 270 before I hit the brakes. That would be ideal. Then I'm not losing a lot of time. Let's concentrate a little bit. And I don't know if you ever driven a Porsche, and I don't know if you ever seen me like having a fight with the Porsche, but you can see how in control I am now with this setup. So I'm really happy with the setup. Obviously I have to invalidate this lap, but we're gonna have to see. So this corner, that last corner, is really important that you keep on throttle, that your setup allows for to do that full throttle, and you're gonna achieve this with low bump stop ranges on the back. I will explain that when we go back to the setup screen. Like, we have a nice top speed, hitting 265 here. A little bit over braking here. That's a little bit of that high brake bias, obviously. Now this was not nearly in a perfect lap, but we're hitting a 218.3, which is pretty decent for me on a screen in a car that I'm not really comfortable in. So looks like you're losing a quick release 1 or QR1. You mean the what do you mean exactly? Is it true that sim race prefer oversteer as they get better? Yes, James. Understeer and oversteer, yeah. I'm watching like a lot of videos on different like real race drivers and what's the problem with over and understeer. If you have a car that has a lot of oversteer potential, you get some freedom for your inputs. Like understeering setups will make it super safe for beginners, and if you're advancing, you want to get rid of more understeer, and then at some point you're gonna move more to like oversteerish setups, and then your inputs are going to be important to make sure you're not oversteering everywhere, and you will actually anticipate that oversteer, and you're gonna point your car on the, let's say you have a little bit more oversteer setup, you are able with steering and braking and throttle inputs to point that car better out of the exit, creating a lot of lap time for yourself. Super safe is slow. Yeah, in a way it is, but let me explain. Setup. So this setup, I was really happy, but it was kind of understeery while braking. So the fronts lock up And how do we get these fronts not to lock up? You could decrease the brake bias, but in this instance, I'm thinking I'm gonna lower the wheel rates a little bit. Now this is gonna do two things. This is gonna remove some understeer, but this will also create rotation. Now, if we go on the brakes, we are allowing for more front grip efficiency that will hopefully not lock it up so much. We're gonna have to test this out, yeah? Front wheel rates make the aero balance of the car different on different speeds. So let's say we lower the wheel rates and we're hitting the brakes, we're allowing the front aero balance to move forward more easily. So whenever we're on brakes, we're going to have more traction on the front tires because of the aero balance, but also low wheel rates going to be very beneficial in the slow corners. And now I'm actually experiencing understeer on the brakes in the slow corners. So let's see if this was helping. RedX, can I get the LFM license in the 992 Cup? I don't know. I think you needed to do a GT3 car, I believe. Because you want to have a car that is able to do that 49 lap time, yeah? Ruthless, D-Mark, what's up, mate? Welcome. And for everybody who's here, I'm building some setups, yeah? High and low downforce. So, only GT3, yeah, okay. By the way, if I miss your messages, I'm seeing now how I like the Porsche, but fundamentally it's flawed over stints, fuel tank, and engine placement. Of course, it's an absolute nightmare. But if you want to use the Porsche, and I'm gonna say that here. Now I'm gonna pick, like, this is the tire set, yeah? So every time you're tuning a Porsche, pick that old tires again. So the game will automatically give you new tire sets, but use the old tires, yeah? And have a look. How were the pressures, people? Were the pressures okay? That right rear is a bit high. And the front right also. Okay, good. Level 4 low downforce. It's a pretty good setup for level 4, I believe. So we can call that level 5. Okay, let's go. Let's hit another lap. On the worn tires, yeah? Oh. One moment. The chat. Nick, evening Arnouts. Evening, Nick. What up, mate? How it's going? So, another setup, video, live stream, whatever. It's been a while. I used to do setup Sundays, but this Sundays I'm preoccupied with other stuff in this live. So, okay, so we have a little bit lower wheel rates, and this is going to create rotation on the braking. Hopefully it will have the most effect on the braking in the slow corners. Van here, the McLaren setups have been extreme on Spa. Yeah, they are. Low down, minimum downforce setups, and the McLaren is super quick. I have actually my personal best on Spa with the McLaren. Absolutely insane. 216.7, and like I could like be like in split one lobby. I've seen somebody, are you driving with Jardier? And the answer is no. Jardier is basically on average 1.5 seconds faster than me, and he's also crazy consistent. So I'm actually 3 years in the game only. So, and I also have children and a full-time job, and so I don't have really the luxury to get into 3-4 different leagues and put in this amount of time in sim racing, to be honest. But some people would argue that I'm a little bit talented, so I want just to share that knowledge with you guys, and especially for the setups, because I really feel that setups are okay. You actually need to have a basic understanding on how to drive in sim racing, but for me, always the setups are so important if you want to grow and progress. So that's why I also make the different levels. So you can pick levels and then progress from the level. So level 1 will be super easy, understeery setup. Level 2 will be more oversteery. And you don't have to worry so much about setups, but you will know that the lap time is in those setups, so you can only focus on the driving. Okay, let's hit that lap. I really feel great balance now with the lower wheel rates. It's improving a lot. Still somewhat understeering a little bit still. Maybe we can drop that brake bias a little bit. But first we need to do a couple of great rotation on our Rouge, and the top speed looks pretty good as well. So we have that more rotation of that front wheel rates. You can see that like was already sliding a little bit. Still a lot of understeer. But nicely rotative on throttle behavior. And obviously this is gonna be a recurring theme in the stream, that I will invalidate the laps basically the whole night. Obviously. Yeah, crazy rotation. Yeah, with the setup I'm really like taking it out of it. So we're taking this borderline characteristic of the Porsche and I'm actually tuning that out in trade for some consistency. Because I think it's still one of the... It's really turning in a lot more with the wheel rates. What about lap time? That's basically the same. Okay, let's try one more lap. And make that clean now. We're gonna drop that brake bias with 1%. Let's see what speeds we can hit now with the 5th gear on our Rouge. Yeah, Nick, the super rotating car, yeah, the Porsche. This looks pretty decent. I'm just taking a little bit of an earlier braking point to give myself a little bit more time on the entry and exit, because braking a little bit more early will give you just this little bit of an edge on the mid-corner speed and controlling the car in mid-corner. This one I screw up a little bit, but a little bit of a lift. I think I need to drop the rear bump stop ranges to get a little bit more of that rotating effect on throttle. That's really good on the fast corners. Hey man, what's up? Oh, the chat. Oh, I looked at the chat for the braking point. Well, let's have a look. There's definitely a half a second in that chicane. And that's the half a second we are missing. So, I am slower. in this setup, but I had to lift a couple of times. So to not lift on corner exit and get rid of understeer. Let's talk about understeer. When we're on throttle and we have a decent amount of speed, then there's certain aero balance in place in the middle of the car. And if we remove the bump stop range a little bit, then the back of the car will be more up, placing the aero balance more forward. What's also an effect of super low bump stop range, this is actually like, I don't know, it's like this. I don't know if that's realistic or not, or if they actually use it in real life. But this will also create some overload on the rear tires whenever we go on throttle. So a lot of front engine cars, low bump stop ranges will create rotation on throttle. Okay, so how do you make the Porsche rotary while keeping the rear in check? Well, let me explain. I have actually, I'm kind of finished with this setup, with this low downforce setup. I think it's pretty decent. I'm also gonna go to a high wing setup, and we're gonna tune that out as well. Let's have a look at the chat. There's a lot of people here. I love listening to your explanation, mates. Keep it up. Respect. Sertak. Thank you. Appreciate it. I like, sometimes I get, and when I'm starting the stream, it's like, if people are even gonna listen to this shit, you know, but they do, and it's nice. I really like. So, having real much help me with building setups. You get a way better feel your body roll with that. Cool, Africa. Okay. So, now I'm building setups and I'm streaming, so I can explain to you what I'm doing. But if I'm alone and I'm building setups and I want to really hit that sweet spot, VR, mate. VR. It's like my my cheat code. Gives me 0.7 seconds, basically. So I watched many setup tutorials, but I understood Arnold better than anyone. Ha! James, mate. Stop it. That's enough love. Yeah, that's good. I like it. So, yeah, man, we listen. Not only I do recommend you also my friends, because nobody explained it like you. Keep it going. You know, a little bit, Nick, a little bit of a story. When I started YouTube a year ago, you can see the old videos. Yeah, it's a little bit different. I wanted these videos when I started ACC, but they just weren't there. It was super frustrating. It took me like a million gazillion years to figure out what's working and how to be fast. But I was determined and obsessed to be faster. And I was explaining to my girlfriend, I was explaining to my friends, I was explaining to basically everybody that I knew, and they didn't care. So I had to go to YouTube and spit it out over here. Yeah, some are a little bit greedy and want you to just buy their setup. Yeah, well, there's a balance, Frane, yeah? Because if you put, like, I'm doing a lot of this stuff for free, and I'm getting followers, and I got some exposure. Some, like, Kamas was approaching me, Moza was approaching me. I have an affiliate deal with Coach Dave Academy. This is all the effects of just sharing the content and helping people. But there's still a balance in, if you make a lot of setups, there's also a bunch of time that goes into it. And if they're really good and you pay like $5 or $10 for it, and it's like you have the experience, like you need to spend, like, if you have no knowledge, you need to spend like, I don't know, maybe a half a year to find that perfect balance. So paying a little bit of money for that setup is actually a no-brainer. The other Hemo setups and Go setups and Coach Dave Academy, you know, they get you membership for €10 and you get setups for every track, combinations, whatever. I really think it's saving you a lot of time. And then, yeah, so that's the thing, yeah. Okay, so chat. I love your videos. Have a question. Front splitter. The front splitter, it's not really working. It's creating drag, but it's not really doing anything. Listen. I don't buy setup because of you, because more I race and listen to you and myself, I got more into it, understand it, just... Yeah. Well, Nick, that's the thing, yeah? Doing it yourself is also way more... it's gonna be your preferences if you change it yourself. So I agree with you fully. Changing them yourself will make you a better racer as well, I believe. That's my opinion, at least. Okay. Shit, where were we? We decreased the bump stop ranges. Yeah, okay. I was happy with the setup. So, 250 hours. Okay, that's a decent amount, GT Gamer, yeah? 250 hours, good stuff. I'm almost at 1,000 now. But I also have Assetto Corsa, Forza Motorsport, like the 7, 5, and 2, and Formula 1 I did, like, but this is just the best. Okay, so this setup, I believe this was, I'm gonna save this as a level 5 low downforce, that will be okay. So now we have a low downforce setup, and if we have some straights, so this setup I will take to Mount Panorama. I will take this to maybe Coda, Circuit City of the Americas. I will take this to Monza. I will take this to maybe Imola. I don't know. Now we're gonna make a high downforce setting. So I'm gonna jack up that rear wing, and aero balance wise, let's say we did this and we had a nice balance on the aero on El Rouge, whatever. So now I'm increasing the rear wing and you see this percentage dropping. I wasn't really paying attention to this, but if you put this up, it will be 4.7. If I drop this down and I put this ride height up, now I can tell you this will be starting to get a handful with this ride height, but this number is not saying that to you. So I don't really see this as a religion, but let's just, we had nothing. We added a lot of wing. 65, let's say 65. Frenna, yeah, I did one endurance race of 4.5 hours, and I was also doing this in VR, but I can keep going in VR as well, like 1.5 hour, and then switch to the other driver, yeah. Zetak, what's up, mate? What are you questioning? June class. Okay, let's see. What do we have in the chat? Did I, sorry guys if I missed the message. So, like this. Again, I want to keep those short ranges, and now we have more aero. I really need to figure out if this is going to be okay. So let's just hit track and see what is what. I'm going to save this as, let's call it level for a high downforce. Let's see how this behaves. And it's very, this is going to be, you can like know very quickly if this is going to be successful, yes or no. The ride height. Ride height's too high or too low, we'll see. I have no clue. I need to test this out as well. Yeah, I have actually no clue. It's gonna be a lot slower on the straights, that's for sure. It feels way more stable though. Already in this... it's gonna be way slower on the straight, so on Spa this will not be the setup I would want to use, because they're gonna overtake me on the straight, but if I can get this around nicely, then... Oh, it's really good. You can really feel the downforce. It's way quicker in the corner. Still understeery, so there's a little bit of that problem. I did not pick the old tires. That I will do and empty the tank and see how it is behaving. So much grip instead of the other setup. So you can really see that this rear wing, like from 6 to 12, it's making a massive difference. Oh, a little bit of an oversteer there on throttle. But especially when you are going over 150, you can really feel the aerodynamic effects of this car. Now, the reason why it's so nicely rotating on throttle is because we have super low rear bump stop ranges. So we have just a little bit of travel on the back, and that's making it nicely rotating in fast corners. If you increase those ranges, it gets super understeery in the fast corners. Missing this braking point again. So that's a little bit of a thing. So let's have a look. Bad exit. Let's see how it routes. I think the balance is pretty decent. Let's keep it in 5th gear. Yeah, a lot of grip. Lots of grip, but now we have a top speed problem, and you're gonna see that in the Delta as well. Iaiano. Am I saying that right? Iaiano. I'm gonna look at the message. Yeah, first I need to finish this lap. You can see how the downforce lights, let's say we picked 2/10 in that corner. I think it's a pretty decent balance. I'm just overshooting it a little bit here. Again, you're not gonna have great lap times watching this stream because the absolute pace comes when I put on my VR headset. This is like racing with one eye for me, really. Super, like a lot of grip. Also, I'm not like completely disappointed with the So this setup, it's a bit understeery on the braking in these slow corners, but I'm willing to accept that because it's so behaving so predictably. Why would I change this? Now, what I am doing, I'm just going to show you this setup and just know that this is like from an advanced standpoint. So maybe if you're a little bit more rookie, then I will give you some tips how to make this more predictable. Yeah. Let's see. Great timing. I'm new to the Porsche and I agreed to help a friend compete in the 24-hour race at Spa this weekend. I'm signed to do 8 hours total driving over the race and this car is very hard to master. Word, mate. True. Very true. But use this setup. Yeah, it's good. Let's see. Tommy, is this going to be a video to watch too? No. But yeah, maybe I can edit, but I don't know. I will be recorded, but I was not repurposing streams. But I will get into this stuff. So, okay, where was I? Okay, this setup that now, this was just a wild guess, and I'm pretty happy with this. I don't really feel this needs to change. We are lacking on the straight, but this is a high downforce setup. So let's say Hungaroring, maybe a few other tracks. This could be competitive. So let's just test that out, shall we? And this is the setup. Just like I'm gonna walk through this screen again. The front toe, I'm not sure. Yeah, this feels okay, but maybe we do like -1 negative. Maybe that will be a lot better. Maybe that will give us that rotation on the braking. I don't know. So let's okay, so this is the setup that I'm like high downforce and I have a low downforce. Now, if I wanted to go to this folder and where is it? This is the setup folder, obviously, and we have the Porsche 992. Where is it made? Here it is. So here on Spa, we have level 4 high downforce, low downforce. Let's stick this to this too. I'm going to Control C that one. And let's say, I don't know, let's do Imola. Yeah. And these setups I will delete because they were old ones. High downforce, low downforce setting. Okay. We'll just take this to Imola just for an example. Yeah. Imola. I said Imola because that's what we say in Holland. And then Italian people said, you need to say Imola because that's the proper pronouncement. Okay. I'm going to do a hot lap so we don't have that horrible outlap every time. I'm just going to take this setup and see how it behaves on Imola. Number 26 or N26 Finland. Hey, how are you building endurance setup? If not, why are you using brake pads too? Well, for temperatures. I use them for temperatures, so I get more stable temperatures in the brake ducts. That's why. Yeah, and the pronunciation, and also sometimes I make a grammar mistake or the spell check, and then people are correcting me on how I need to spell words. It's awesome. Okay. So we have the high downforce setting. Let's have a look on Imola, how this is behaving. Very good, mate. Also with the Porsche, a little bit of a hack, of a trick. Sometimes the rear tires get super hot, and then I heard people do like the brake pads too. They have some minor, like a performance thing. I don't know, if you're searching for that last half a cent, then these brakes will be important. But putting them lower, the rear brakes, the one brake pads will cool off and overheat way quicker. But if you have like a long straight, then some people use brake pads one on the back to cool off the rear tires more. But I don't know, you're gonna have to test that out. Okay, I'm gonna go for this hot lap and see how this is behaving. Because I'm pretty confident that I can drive with this setup also Imola. Pressures obviously will not be perfect. It's a completely different track. And the straight will be a disaster, yeah. If you have Mustangs around you, or maybe Aston Martins or BMWs, even in McLarens, you're gonna have a hard time. Oh. Empty tank, yeah. A little bit more sensitive, obviously. So I can feel it's a little bit more oversteery over here, so Imola would not be the best track to go from Spa, but it's definitely not behaving strange in a way. Maybe I should change this stream into lap invalidation stream. That would be a great idea, because that will actually be more accurate, yeah? Over here we have a lot of rotation, a little bit too much. Okay, let's do one more lap. I think it's pretty decent. I have nice rotation on throttle or whatever. Over here it's a little bit too oversteery. I've seen a Tortellini stream and he was like fighting with this car mate on Imola, so maybe Imola will not be the best example. And this was like a 43, that's absolutely super slow. So, in this hot lap, you can see me oversteering basically everywhere, yeah? Not gonna even bother to finish this lap. What I would do in this instance, I would just drop that ride height a few clicks, yeah? Try again, and then see how it is. That will be so important now. This ride height will be a great change. So you can see how it's a little bit different from Spa to Imola. But this small change will probably make it a lot better. So. I'm gonna quit this one. So another car, yeah? I heard people Mustang. Maybe we can build a Mustang on Spa. Okay. Cheers, man. Appreciate it. Going to with no expectations, but it should be interesting experience. So yeah, 24 hours I've seen, like in the chat. "24 hours, man. Awesome. I wish I had the time to do 24 hours at some point." Okay, let's do Mustang then. Also waiting for a livery for the Mustang. Where is it? Oh boy. Go to Spa again. Jason aka Red Master 3. At first, I need to say you have an awesome name. Yeah, just gonna call you Master 3. Yeah, so obviously there's a million ways you can go about it. Again, I have the pretty low anti-roll bars, but yeah, I'm just testing out these different stuff. Yeah, so I'm just also sharing what I know. The biggest problem with car setup building now for me, the more that I know, the more complicated it gets, and the more it seems like I don't know. But then again, I know a lot more than 3 years ago. So, and then there's all this philosophy. Yeah, what are you going to change? When? I'm really thinking about this. Okay, but so yeah, now we're in the Mustang, yeah, so things are a little bit different now. It's completely different, to be honest. So Arnouts Preset. This is like a preset I came up with like a little bit more than a half a year ago, and I've like catched myself always using these values to start building setups instead of using the safe or aggressive preset. What a beauty, yeah, Mustang. Okay, so the Arnouts preset is like this, and obviously I have a little bit of ride height on the front. We don't need that, and we also are going for the maximum ride height, maybe a little bit less. Dampers are, this is like standard. I would like not change it. You can do meta, then it's gonna be higher and whatever. Yes, it does, but we're gonna try to fix that. And I'm also gonna explain now how, what my idea is about getting rid of this understeer. Now, obviously, you can't polish a third, you know? This will have understeer, but we can remove quite a bunch of it and still have decent traction on corner exit. Yes, so okay, so obviously these settings will not work. What I like to do with cars that have lots of understeer, I like the front ranges to be a little bit more than the middle. Obviously, when you go for endurance races, you're going to need to be careful with lots of bump stop ranges, but we're just going to ignore that for now. So this car will be super understeery in slow corners. Yeah. So I want to maybe not have super stiff anti-roll bar, and this is going to make the front tires more connective on every time we're cornering, braking, whatever. So this will really create some grip on the front. Yeah. When the anti-roll bar on the back, when we go on throttle and we have the stiff anti-roll bar, the left and right wheel will lose its contact patch and grip efficiency. So a very high anti-roll bar to create rotation will also hurt us on corner exit because we have all this torque, because we probably want to have this lower so the rear wheels can stick on the tarmac when we go on throttle. I'm just gonna go full meta with these wheel rates on the front at least, and on the back I will increase them a little bit. Again, this will create some like tire overload on the rear tires, and we're also gonna go for not super high bump stop ranges. From like this perspective, this menu, this is something I'm choosing for front engine cars. So this will be Aston Martin, this will BMW, maybe not BMW, but I will also use it for like, if I wanted to drive a Bentley, I would start with these settings. This is going to save me a massive amount of time figuring out how much. Off throttle corner exit, if we have understeer there, we don't have a lot of weight in the back for, say, the Porsche, you know, because the back is like pulling us into oversteer. This car will not have that problem because we have that massive engine in the front, so we can get away with low preload differential. Yeah, let's just try this out. I'm seeing now I'm still in hot lap mode. I need to change this, obviously. Let's just build a level 4 setup. Level 4. And I need to go to practice session, excuse me. Sorry. Mechanical grip. I was telling that, yeah? Or did I miss the message? I'm sorry, Surtek. They didn't know when you sent that message, but the little bit of this. Okay, Master 3, thanks for thanks for the messages, guys. Thanks, awesome. I always turn off the amount of viewers. Yeah, so the people who are in the chat. Yeah, I'm really talking to you guys. Yeah, I really want to help you. If you also want to be like helped or you have questions, leave a message and I will answer them. I think you go for 1660C with the Mustang. Yeah, okay, so first we need to go to practice session because that's just not working. Okay, good. Setup. What are your top 3 at the moment? Well, first Aston Martin, BMW. The third, I'm not sure. Maybe Mustang. I think Mustang. I mean, if you can accept this understeer, and if you have tracks with a lot of straights, you're gonna be so fast in the Mustang. It's absolutely insane. I really think that the Aston and the BMW are great cars. I'm just forgetting some car. The Nissan also to consider, yeah? Okay, so this was level 4. Probably this is going to be too much, the rear wing, but just let's test it out and see how we get rid of that understeer. Brake bias I will also drop, because I know this is going to need to be way, way lower. No, but don't worry, don't be Nissan, yeah, it's great, yeah. I want to maybe get the Nissan, we can drive a little bit in the Nissan as well. Okay, let's see how this behaves. I'm not sure about tire pressures. Toe values, maybe we need to change as well. Okay. Oh, this looks weird. Maybe we can get rid of an overlay. Moment, please. Bruh, where is it? One moment, yeah. Just get some technical stuff here. Let's remove that one and put this one over here. Oh, still not happy. Let's put it over here. Okay, it's better, yeah? Big bonnet, yeah? Big... Bro. Never tune your car in hot lap mode. Don't do it. Get so much issues. And always pick 30 liters, so we have a nice metric to work from. Okay, so let's save this again. I'm kind of amateur with setups. Usually I'll use a typical meta tricks or someone else's setup. In the wet, I just simply put wet tires and it seems okay. What else do you usually adjust for wet? I put like more ride heights, like 3-4 millimeters extra ride heights. I always put max wing in the rain and I drop the brake bias to the minimum. That's what I would do if I go into the wet. Obviously, we need to have the wet tires. Okay, enough. Driving, Arnout, driving, come on. Okay. Obviously, you want to have a little bit of a different field of view settings, because now we have this enormous bonnet. Maybe I want to change that a little bit for this instance. Let's pitch this a little bit different. Now I have a little bit more of an idea what's happening. Now the overlay is in the way, of course. Bruh. You see how I'm planning this out, yeah? I thought about everything. Okay, like this is better. We're anticipating understeer. Green, 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 yes. Do you stream on Kick? No, I don't. Just on YouTube. To keep it simple for myself. Streaming is pretty difficult for me, really. Ooh, we have understeer. Also, what I'm thinking about doing a video about understeer. Sometimes we mistake understeer for just pushing too hard, just asking too much of the car. And I'm using traction control too, because it gives me so much more forgiveness on exit, and I still can get into ridiculous lap times with this car, so I don't really feel that it is hurting my performance. And I'm also not a guy that is chasing the podiums in the LFM, like the Pro Series or whatever. So I think it's very easy to drive. Like this I can keep up. Like compared to the Porsche, this is so childishly easy. A little bit of a moment there. Let me regroup and focus. Let's see the tire pressures. Yeah, Master 3, that's absolutely a time saver, yeah? So just know that you can survive Al Rouge and then you'll be good. Over here it's super understeery. So you need to trail brake a lot to rotate it in slow corners. Let's do a lap here. And you can brake super late in the... you see how much traction I have with this 11, yeah? Now this lap time only needs to be quick. So we have plenty of rotation in fast corners. I think we can go away with a little bit less wing, but on the straight it's a bit slow. It's okay. I really feel that this is quite okay. Now it's a bit understeery. So we have a lot of rotation in fast corners. It's really great in fast corners. You can see how stable it is, yeah, with traction control 2 on. Let's have a look at this this lap time first, shall we? And then we drop the wing so we can hit that juicy 275 what you're talking about. So, my first run in the Mustang, I was doing this a lot more. Obviously, we are lacking a little bit of top speed. Rep Daisy, not really, man. I'm just doing this by feeling. And telemetry and Motec and all that stuff. I wish there was a graphic that you can see the spring movement, and when the tire is overloading, that would be really a great tool. Back in the day when I was racing on console, Forza 7, I would like go back and replay and see the telemetry and see all these moving parts. But I don't know if that is for Assetto Corsa Competizione, if you can see that real time back in a replay or whatever. But yeah. When changing between cars, adjusting setup, how do you know when you need to adjust the setup via adjusting your driving style? Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. That comes with experience. Yeah, Iano. A lot of it comes from experience. So let's say I'm driving this car for the first time. Again, I'm using Arnouts Preset. The preset is always a great starting point. We got like some grip, we have some understeer, and then I get this understeery preset and I will try to tune out the understeer. Yeah. Sometimes when I take the preset and I take it out for a spin, it feels like, hey, it's kind of balanced in a way. But now I have some like understeer on exit, or I have some oversteer on entry, and then we'll change that according to then. I will only take like 20 minutes, and I will take it immediately into races. And then in a race, this will explain me how the setup is behaving, or how I'm lacking top speed on the straights or whatever. And then I'll adjust the setup later again. So some setups, they take a few races to really fine tune it for that race. Okay, so fuck it. Let's do 4. I'm pretty happy how the car behaves. So now we took like how much is this changing? Quite a lot of percentages, yeah. Let's see. Maybe it's still good. Presets. I will get into. I will make a video about presets as well. I think everybody needs a preset, so we can get away from trying to fix a broken, safe, or aggressive preset, because there's so much stuff that you can like. There's a philosophy of fixing your setup every part of the corner, but a preset will solve a lot of problems for you, and then you start fixing it from there. That's really my idea of setup building. And maybe it will not be the best way, but it will be the fastest way to build setups. And that's important, yeah, because we don't have 3 million years to build one setup for one track. ABS and traction control, I'm going to drop this. I'm going to speak a little bit about TC2. A lot of cars, they don't need TC2, and it's interfering in the wrong places. But if you had a look at this lap, you probably did not see me oversteer out of corners, and I really believe that this is the same as the Aston Martin. In the Aston Martin, I'm also using the maximum TC2. All the other cars I put on 0. So that's just what I do, and I can be pretty competitive with that. Okay, let's try this out, and this will be level 4, low downforce. And I'm calling level 4 because there's more rotation possible for my level. Okay, let's have a look. Let's see that straight line speed and how it's behaving. Arnout. Hey man, what's up? We need to talk about your name. Milanko. Arnout has a good dinner when his bottle of water is not enough and half. Okay, mate. Okay, let's get into some. Let's see how the Mustang now is behaving. We definitely lost some pressure on the rear axle. So let's see. Also cold tires, yeah. Oh, by the way, outlaps are super important. Let's say you are in a race, endurance race, and temperatures are dropping. You want to have a car setup that is not super weird in your outlap. Obviously, you want to have the proper temperatures, but you want a car that is behaving well in an outlap as well. Yeah? Some people say, yeah, I need to have the proper temperatures and tire pressures. Obviously, that's important. That's the most important. But if it's a completely like a car that will murder you in an outlap, then you're gonna have also trouble. So it needs to behave in an outlap as well. Oh, it's even more rotating. I like it even more now. And you need to just, with this low wing setting, you need to be more careful on throttle, but it's definitely manageable. So much rotation, love it. And maybe too much rotation will actually hurt the exit, so you can definitely overdo rotation. Okay, a bit too much, so a little bit less ride height we need. When this happens, you have too much rear ride height. Yeah? The aero balance is too much in the front tires are too dominant. Now you can do two things. You can or decrease the rear ride height, or you decrease the front bump stop ranges, or you increase the front anti-roll bar. Now I'm choosing the front anti-roll bar because the ride height and the suspension geometry is going to help us to still get rid of that understeer in the slow corner. So I'm increasing the front anti-roll bar with 2 clicks. What a high anti-roll bar also will do will make probably a more stable aero balance. So this is what I'm going to try first. And hell, maybe a little bit more of these ranges. So now the back end can, like on the fast corners, it can drop down a little bit more. So I would choose these settings, you know? That's just what I'm thinking. And obviously this low downforce setting that we had was broken, so I'm just oversaving that. Let's try again. Do you have a favorite front engine car and why? Didn't I already say this? Somebody else. Aston Martin, man. It's my favorite, all-time favorite. And when I started out at Assetto Corsa Competizione, it wasn't my favorite. But when I start driving that car, I'm so fast in the Aston Martin, mate. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, let's. I'm looking at the chat. Sorry. I want to have a chat in this screen, but I don't know how to do it yet. So one more, this out lap, and then we'll get into a fast lap. And also let me know, guys, a little bit aggressive on throttle there. I'm really curious if we can have the Blanchimont corner fixed with the changes that I did with the anti-roll bar. It definitely feels a little bit understeery again. So a little bit of my driving style, as far as you can see it, feel it. I like a car that is pointing to where I want it to go, and I also like it when it steps out a little. In some cases over here, I really need to be gentle with the steering, or else I will oversteer again. I also like a little bit of forgiveness in the setup, so if I make a small mistake, it's not gonna murder me immediately. Hey Richard, what's up, mate? You can really go late on the brakes with the Mustang. Should be flat. What are you talking about, Ripper? That corner? That exit? And obviously I'm invalidating every lap. It's a little bit of a trend. It's because I'm not in VR. I cannot really see it that good, so you're gonna have to forgive me for that. It's like driving with one eye, really. This corner. Need to be careful with my input. If I overdo the input, we get oversteer. So, a 217.7, yeah? I'm happy with this. This is not your average safe setup. it is quite oversteery in fast corners. So we're gonna speak about this. All right, Master 3. What PC specs are you running? I'm running a 4090 with a Dark Hero motherboard, 32 RAMs, and I have a Ryzen 7 5800X 3D. So I'm not using, you don't need it for the screen racing. I really need the 4090 for VR and then recording and streaming that as well. I often suffer understeer on turn 16, the fourth gear, right-hander, and sometimes I have to mini lift to not get the track limit. Yes. Yes, okay. So, let's talk about this because it's a real issue. First of all, I will, when we're there, I will explain. I will stop and explain a little bit, what, at least what I am doing. This setup, it's this setup, low downforce setup. Now, low downforce, I'm assuming 4, maybe Monza we can do 2, yeah? If I wanted to change this into a level 3, I would just get rid of a little bit of that ride height, so we have a little bit less rotation in fast corners, and I would go for a little bit less bump stop range on the front, and maybe I would increase the brake bias a few percent. This would not really change. I would do this. Now we get a little bit more stability on throttle, and then I would just call this a level 3 low downforce setup. Now, it's gonna be a little bit slower, obviously, but it will be a lot safer. And if you can keep it under control and you'll never spin in a race, you will gain more positions than that few tenths you're gonna win with a setup that's feels really dangerous. So let's have a look, and I will also explain in this outlap that because turn 16, we're talking this corner, yeah. What's that like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. Yeah, this one. All right. When do I stop worrying about setup and focus on my skill? Well, that's a little bit of a tough one, isn't it? So, you can stop worrying about setup. Let's say you have your lap time, yeah? This is what I like to think about it. You have your lap time, what you can do. Let's say you can do a 220 or 290 on Spa. If you can hit that lap time, then I would like be happy with that, accept that as a limit, and do like a half an hour of a practice with that setup you're using, and you need to go for some setup changes that makes your car a little bit more pointier, that will create a little bit more oversteer, and try to find consistency again with trail braking and all the techniques you're using for driving, because now you have a car that will be a little bit less understeery, and if you can control this, then you will find some lap time. But it's important to keep to get some baseline setup that you can control, where you don't feel a lot of trouble in your setup, so you're like safe everywhere, you have nice rotation, you're not super understeering or oversteering everywhere. And then I would go to just pick a season, pick a schedule like LFM or different ones, and get experience. You will learn so much from different tracks. And like if you have sometimes a setup can really be broken, then obviously you need to have some consultancy, or you just buy them because there are experts that found out the best values. You can maybe watch these videos of me, or let's say buy the preset from the McLaren on having different levels, because I like the levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. because level 1 will be beginner, level 2 will be advancing, level 3 will be more advanced, level 4 will be even more advanced, and level 5 will be my level. And if you're better than me, then go to Coach Dave Academy. There's also a link down below. They have meta power setups, but getting from, let's say you're feeling safe in a level 2 setup, then you could progress to level 3 setup, and then that will be harder to drive, but then you will learn to control that setup, and then there will be more lap time in that setup. So, yeah. Yeah, so that's how I, James, that's how I'm explaining this. So let's go to the track. Yeah, I'm explaining this to the best of my ability, yeah, because I made a video and there was a lot of views on it, like 70,000, and like some famous people said that I was completely wrong about the physics. So, and he was right. And I made a big mistake in that video. But yeah, if I didn't make that video, then probably people would not have taught me that. So I'm also teaching this in public, and I will make mistakes as well. You know, not everything will be super accurate, but I think, yeah. So let's. So this is the level 3 setup, and this is more forgiving. Yeah, so we can have. Okay, it will still be. If I put my girlfriend in the sim, then she will spin with this, but there's more forgiveness now. We have a little bit less bump stop range, we have a little bit less ride height, we have a more higher brake bias, so we have less rotation on brakes. And this will be more easy to drive. Obviously, you can still be quick in this, but the other setup will have more potential. So... And by the way, I don't really know how to make track guides, but if you're like struggling on a track and you really know the track, we often feel like, yeah, I don't need a track guide, I know how the track works. Really, especially the Tortellini track guides, I watch them sometimes and I'm like, oh my god, the amount of detail. So this corner, you want to be somewhere around here. And you want to point your car, like, how I'm going to explain this better. You want to be in this corner, you want to be here, and you want to be pointing a little bit of the front of the nose to that direction. Here you want to be full throttle, yeah, this is going to be optimum, yeah? And you're going to be full throttle here, and then you want to be all the way over here, and there's really a decisive moment where you're going to turn in. If you are here, then a lot of times you need to lift because you did not, the angle of the apex is now too sharp and you cannot get away with full throttle behavior. So it's important whenever every time you are here, and this is gonna take time to practice, you want to be all the way over here, and then you can go full throttle and have this, and you can even go like this, you can go this wide, and that's really important. But also know that a small lift, yeah, it's not desirable, but it's not hurting you that much as you think, maybe a few tenths, yeah? But invalidation is, yeah, I can see this is more safe on that corner. Obviously we have a little bit cold tires. Let's have a look how this level 3 is behaving. It's probably a bit slower, but I'm also losing a little bit of focus because I'm already streaming for almost 2 hours. 3 hours almost, 2 hours, what is it? 2 hours. And maybe I will be even quicker in this setup, who knows. We still have a low downforce, so we still have that top speed. In theory, we should be a bit faster with lower ride heights, but that's not really the case. Oh, and by the way, you never put this car in 6th gear. You can just keep it in 5th gear, always, even on a Nordschleife. trail braking is just super important to get rid of that understeer. This was not optimal, obviously. Yeah, we're gonna have a look in its turn 16, yeah? We still have plenty of rotation to do that full throttle. Obviously invalidated. So here we want to be on throttle. I'm a little bit screwing this up. And Iano also know that some cars will do this better than others, and this car will do that pretty good. Also, the McLaren will do this pretty good, the BMW will do this pretty good. The Ferrari will have a little bit more trouble with that corner, and also the Aston Martin will have a little bit more trouble with that corner. So, also see that I'm touching the brakes a little bit over here in that corner. It's just oversteer, we can never get it out. Obviously I made quite some mistakes in this lap, but we're still hitting 218s. Also note, when you're driving an LFM BOP server, there's a lot of weight added to this car, so the braking points change a little bit. Okay, yes, I think I'm turning too early, I think. I've got the wrong idea in my head to use the curb early to rotate the car. Yeah, well, it can help, but yeah. In the McLaren, it's easy to do full throttle. In the 992, I'm struggling with, yeah. Lower rear bump stop ranges. If you have trouble on throttle and understeer and you cannot get it to rotate, drop this one. Bump stop range in the back, really important. Drop it. Drop that one. On an Aston Martin, this needs to be super low. On a Porsche, I'm running super low bump stop ranges. It helps rotation on throttle. I use your setup on console. Ah, nice. Good stuff. You bought them or you just use them from the channel? It's really good. Artful Dodger. I can't break 222. 222, mate. So, what to say? So I was building setups. I tried out, man. Tried out how low bump stop ranges and maybe wheel rates, but that's like stick with the yeah, whatever. Stick with the bump stop ranges. Try it out. Also higher anti-roll bar, but then you get a lot of other different changes. The that one, stick that one for now. Try it out. Okay, so we have the low downforce setting. That looks good. Now, if I wanted to make this even more safe, I would add a bit more wing, so we lose a little top speed, but now we're gaining even more stability. I would drop the rear wheel rates to get more stability on the back. I would increase a little bit of that brake bias again. And a few clicks less of this bump stop ranges. I even would go to increase those ones a few. And increasing even more toe. And now I'm just basic made a level 2. And then I will test it out. And I will use harsh inputs and harsh braking inputs. And like very rough inputs. And if the car then behaves in a great way. And you don't lose it. Then we created a level 2 setup. Now and then, if I would go even, let's say, okay, I wanna make sure my girlfriend doesn't spin in this car, then I would just keep going with this. I would get rid of those. Yeah, I would even increase these ranges a bit more. And get even more brake bias, add more traction control, toes. A little bit side note, how I think about toes. If you go way overboard, I feel they're broken. I think they work. I think they're not super accurate, really. But if you keep between the 0.1 ranges, I think they can do something. But if you need to rely on massive toe to get some car behavior, I think you could find that elsewhere in your setup. So this one I would call a level 1 downforce setting. That's how I would do it. That's how I am doing it. I'm not saying this is the perfect way, but this is a way, you know? And I'm also like, this is not a religion for me, yeah? If I find new information or I try new things and it's working, then I will just drop this and think about it differently. Okay, let's do this chat. I was ignoring the chat a little bit, sorry. Burble, hey, what can you do to minimize throttle oversteer in the 992? Okay. Anna Franca, cheers. Good luck, Arnie. Barney. That's the girlfriend. Erna. That's my lady. She's in the chat as well. Yeah, how nice of her. Just check the setup. I'm already minimum bump stop range. Oh, I think it must be line choice. Or increase the rear anti-roll bar. Yeah, and look, how much rear ride height do you have then? Reduce preload. Increase traction control 1. Okay, so let's see. Master tree. What? Oh, by the way, what do you think of the Lexus? This is the car I'm strongest and most comp. I think the Lexus is awesome. The Lexus is freaking sweet. I like the Lexus, but Arnie Scabarni. Yeah, it's a little bit of a, how do you call it? It's like a lover nickname in a way. If I would have oversteer on throttle with the oversteer on throttle with the Porsche, then can you lower the anti? You know what you need to do. Burble N, just drop your setup in the Discord with images or with a file, and then we get a holistic understanding what's happening with your setup. But because if you have oversteer, a lot of times a few clicks of rear wing will also get rid of the problem. And if you're already running low bump stop range to the back, you're probably not gonna miss so much rotation. Arnie Scabarni, we keep that one. Oh no, Anna, what have you done? Now I am not sim racing Arnold. Maybe I will change my channel name in Arnie Scabarni. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so obviously we need to. I'm not gonna make this a pack low downforce presets for the this car, obviously, but this is just a way how I'm explaining how I think about building setups in different levels and like skill levels. What do you guys want to see? I think we can do another half an hour or something or whatever. Let me know, chat. What do you want to see? Sounds good. Thank you, Arnie Scabarni. Thanks, mate. Thanks. Awesome. Everybody's calling me Arnie Scabarni now. Scabarni Racing. This will be a thing. This will become a thing, yeah? Lexus. Let's try Lexus. Okay. Look at this awesome livery. I have these liveries in the Discord and the Patreon as well, if you want to use it. But you need to use this one, yeah? And you need to be, you need to be Patreon on LFM to display it. Where's my chat? My chat disappeared. Shite. Moment. Here it is. Okay, few laps in Lexus, okay? Let's see. Okay. What do we have here, actually? Huh! Look at this. I don't know what this is. Let's have a look. There was a lot of tuning going on here, that's for certain. Also, when you're learning setups and you're learning new things, yeah, it's working again, Sertak, thanks. If you look back in the history of your building setup, sometimes you think, maybe that was not such a good idea. Oh, this was also built in this one. Looks pretty straightforward to me, could work. Meta dampers. Massive ride height. Oh, look at that, mate. Alright, let's try this out. I think this is a great setup. Could be, at least. Hey Tanner, what is up? I'm gonna check the chat if there's like people here. Everybody basically saying it's Fitz. Hey, I had never seen that name before. I'm not sure. I should believed Copain. All right, mate. So let's have a look at the Lexus. I like the Lexus. I don't know how many times I need to change this view settings. Pitching this up. Let's fill the view. 46. It's probably something like this. Okay. Yes, it does have a great sound, doesn't it? It was updated in the 1.10 version, so I think it's up to date, but we're gonna have to see. It's super quick on the straights though. It's a great setup. Super fast on the straight, yeah. A little bit oversteery here. Maybe it's bottoming out a little bit, I don't know. I think it's not fully competitive on the most tracks, yeah? You're gonna suffer a lot in corners. It's pretty hard to be competitive in. Over here as well, I really need to. It has a weird oversteering characteristic in a slow corner. Maybe we can tune it out a little bit. Obviously this is a high downforce setup, but it's nicely rotating, and even though it's high downforce, I was a little bit late on the brakes there. It has a braking problem a little bit. When in the slow corners, you really need to back off to the braking pedal. You can really use that to your advantage as well. Use that oversteery braking for extra rotation entry, but we're talking massive skill level. So I'm gonna cut that again, yeah? For high downforce, this is actually pretty quick. Just concentrating a little bit, see how. Also know that maybe I can start up the VR headset to show you how consistent and fast I am with the headset on, because it's a little bit of my cheat code, really. Yeah, it is super quick. I'm also feeling super comfortable with this car in the Nordschleife. I fully agree. It's a bit strange because I have a lot of rotation in Blanchimont corner, but I didn't really feel it on Arnouts, so I need to touch that throttle to get a little bit of that speed again in it. So let's do a clean lap, yeah, let's try it. It's a great setup. I don't know what it is, but there's some rotation problem in our rouge. I cannot get it around the corner good enough. But I'm just gonna treat that this was clean. Here, it's so nice. I don't understand why it's so horrible on our rouge. It's probably why I got all the way up to 813. I'll also explain why I was using that way of setup development. It's so quick, this car. Look at this, man. 260, 263, 4. It's great. So, holy crap, I can do a 217 in this bad boy. Well, it's competitive. It's competitive on Spa, that's for certain. Okay, have a look to the chat. Can Armature work on other games? Oh, I don't know. Oh. Blancas Pony. You're from Warkum, yeah? Was it, or was it somebody? Yeah, it was a good lap. It was dirty, obviously. We're doing dirty. It's called Dirty Spa, this live stream. Dirty Spa, I'm going to call it. Are you planning to play AC Evo or just stick with ACC? Yeah. Okay, I'm a little bit lost in the chat. Where do I need to respond to? Mr. Red Race? I made you a call, my friend. Still here, bro. Racing is better on console. Just want to say hi. You seen it on here. Okay, check that speed. No, I did not put the VR headset because I want to explain a little bit about setups and like the process that I'm going through. Yeah, it's about time to return to XCL for a race. Good to see your back on others. Yes, please also consider. Okay, I'm gonna get the headset at some point. Can Armature work on other games? I have no clue, to be honest. I don't know. I'm using it for HC. Are you yeah, so AC2, AC Evo. So I'm really curious how they're gonna do it with Assetto Corsa Competizione, and are they gonna put new GT3 cars in AC Evo? Are they going to make some sort of implementation of ACC into Evo 2? Are they going to keep it separate? Are they going to maintain Assetto Corsa Competizione? Or are they just going to drop it? These are all these questions we don't have answers to yet. So I don't know, but I will know. I probably, if you look at Rennsport, if you look at Le Mans Ultimate, I'm not playing them yet because they have no VR implication. So I don't care about those yet. I hope that Assetto Corsa Evo will have all new GT3 cars, and maybe that will be more realistic, or the field will be even better than this one. Then I will pivot. And if it's not better, then probably I will not be the only one and will probably stick to ACC. But then again, they need to maintain it, come with updates, other cars, maybe a few tracks. It's too early to tell. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this is my own setup for the. So what's happening here? I'm having a little bit of trouble in Eau Rouge. The ABS is pretty high. If I drop this lower, then we get a lot of oversteer, under braking in the slow corners. So I need to trail brake more. I need to release the brakes more. It's a little bit of this is like a little bit of a different approach in braking. Let's say compared to the Mustang, for instance, or Porsche, whatever, other cars. We could even go with, yeah, it's a great setup. I will rename this, but we still have a little bit of an issue with Eau Rouge. So, or I need to drive it better, or I have a setup problem. I'm not super sure. I will call this level 5 because it's pretty oversteery. Level 5 high downforce. What? How I was calling this like this? Yeah. Okay. Oh, Master 3. Well, they aren't popular. I don't know, but there are like multi classes. Like now on LFM we have the off season. A lot of cars, people pick GT4s, and there's some multi class racing picking GT4s. But yeah, I don't know, man. The GT3 cars, they're just pulling most of the attention. And to be honest, yeah, for me as well, I just like them the most. I like it. It's like the perfect sweet spot formula. It has a bit of downforce. The cars look great. The cars feel great. They're forgiving with all the traction control settings. You have all the cars have all same setup variety. And I always had a massive love for GT3 cars. Also, when I was playing Forza 2 back in the day, I was always drawn to GT3 cars. So maybe I'm not the only one. I don't know. Yeah. The off-season LFM multi-class races are absolutely amazing. I totally agree, the Ripper. Awesome. So I will go for. I need to go for a piss, and then I will put on the headset, and we're gonna drive a lap in VR. Maybe we can do that. So just know that this could be a great setup. Maybe the bump settings will be the problem on our Rouge. We'll have to see. I will be right back, guys. I will be right back. All right. Let's have a look. So we have this car. So you want me to see VR? Yeah, I need to do get that set up. First, I want to ask if people have still more questions. Sometimes you get run GT2 at Monza. Obviously, they're slower in the corners. But if you can get ahead, it's sometimes good battle with GT3 drivers to get past. Yeah, I didn't really know GT2. I was like, oh, they're gonna be even more beefier, more downforce, and gonna be quicker. And I was a bit disappointed, obviously, because they are limited, a lot more limited, and yeah. So. All right. Sander Tabbers, so pretty late. What did I miss? Setup building, different cars. We can still go into the Nissan. I want to go into the Nissan a little bit still. And then I will maybe do a hot lap with the VR headset. Because why not? So just know that I'm like Sander, I will say that I'm like a little bit juggling with the idea what I'm probably going to drive the Audi on LFM this season. And I'm also displaying the setup that I'm using as a baseline. It's really, really safe setup. It's really good. So, okay, so I have setups for this one as well. High downforce, low downforce. Oh, this was for an endurance, but we didn't actually choose this car. It's pretty standard, I believe. Okay. So again, these car setups they're born from the Arnouts Preset, and they basically have a little bit more preload, a little bit more anti-roll bar, and these settings are pretty basic. It's not like something weird or anything. In the setup pack from the Ferrari, I saw understeer exit. You decrease traction control. How does that work? Just better throttle to steer the car. Yes, Sander, that's how it works. What also happens with different levels, if you have, you will get understeer on the lower levels, and then to get rid of that understeer on corner exit, you want to decrease the bump stop ranges. That really is an effective way to not screw up the rest of your setup so much. It really helps out. But traction control settings from level 1 to 4, I'm making, like I could split, I could make 10 levels, making the steps even smaller. Yeah, but I'm using 5 levels to not lose clarity, or like if I give you like 700 setups on different setup levels, you get lost, like what you need to choose. So I keep them small and accurate. And in the video, I'm also explaining how it can help, yeah? Or you did buy the pack, did you? Thanks for supporting, by the way. Thank you. That's helping me out. Okay, let's have a look at this Datsun, shall we? I don't know how many times I need to change a few settings, or actually need to do that every time here. I don't know. So, let's go. This car is hard to set up because it is playful and understeery at the same time. But you can really save this one. So if you wanna learn cars and you wanna learn oversteer and you wanna like have a good time, then this Nissan is going to deliver. This is great. I already feel like in this outlap how it's a great setup as well. watch the video. There's like a little bit of a detailed information on the Ferrari pack. Well, thank you, Sander, for buying that pack, and I hope you enjoy it. And also note that if I find some information, then I will add a video to it and update you on some stuff, or I will even make the changes. But I'm a little bit time limited, of course. But yeah. Now I'm driving this. I was driving the Audi this evening, and I was driving the Mustang, and I was driving the Porsche, Lexus. This is awesome. It's also a very underrated car. And I see the pressures are off, by the way. That's we need to fix. Let's just drive with off pressures. Why not? Oh, it's great traction here as well. All rotation here. It's a lot of fun. It looks like a boat, but it's a great car. I was making this for an endurance race, and I like put in a massive amount of time to make this super balanced for Spa, and now I'm driving it again. I really feel like it's balanced, and it's a great setup. Obviously the temps, the tires are not in the perfect or in the wrong pressures, yeah, so, but let's see top speed here. I also think that it's pretty decent. Well, it's okay. Also high downforce, yeah. So that will mean it will be probably on tracks with a lot of corners. It will probably suffer a little bit. Will be a bit slower than other cars. Yeah, Sander, it's okay, man. Awesome. Thanks for asking, yeah. You can always ask. You can also ask always in the Discord if you have questions, or in the Patreon chat. I try to answer basically everything. There's still, you can still do, yeah, I don't have the proper pressure obviously, so that's why a little bit of traction, losing a little bit of traction left and right. A little bit early on the brakes. Not that quick though. Anyways, Michiel, I have the SimMagic P1000 with on the braking I have the haptic motor. This is my most expensive equipment actually that I ever bought. So yeah, it's great. I love the haptic motors. They really give me a lot of information. What to do now? Let's put hello chat. Let's put the screen here, and I will put the overlays into place. I will start up the VR headset, and I will show in the Lexus a hot lap. Show you how fast I can be in the like this noise. And we're gonna start up this app and this chat. Have a look. Start up the headset. One moment, yeah. So the chat needs to be, we shut down the game. This one needs to be here. And then I need to start up the game. How much quicker do you feel in VR lap time? Consistency. Well, first of all, I will be way more consistent. I will not miss my breaking points that easily. I will not run wide and invalidate laps. And I will also be like a half a second quicker on average. The HUD, sorry for the stupid question. No, it's not stupid, man. I use the Racelab app for overlays, and I use the Armamentario overlays. The link is in the description, I believe. So I will start this up now, but I still need to get the chat in my VR environment, so it's going to take a little bit of time. One moment for that, please. Do we have, yeah, we have an image. There we go, there's the VR. Now I need to have open keyboard. And yeah, now I can see you guys in the, I can see you guys. So you can talk to me. I can see you in the chat now. I have it over here. But obviously I still need to put it in a better position. So one moment for this. Yeah, it's a worthy investment, but not only is it a worthy investment, it's also way more fun because you have so much more immersion and feel on how it's going. So so what car? Let's see. Let's just take that Lexus, and we did a 217, yeah? So we did a 217, and I will, one moment. I need to change some things, yeah, because I have the view settings. I need to go to motion 100%, and I need to go to the car, and I need to do this. Yes, okay. Actually looks awesome already. Yeah, it's yeah, but also note I have a 4090. Yeah, it's super unfair. And you really need that in a set of course competition. Okay. What do we have left? Do we have all the overlays in place? I believe so. Let's see. Okay, setup. We're gonna load up the setup what we had from the spas, the level 5 high downforce setting. Yes, Lexus. And we're gonna use the fuel strategy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure about the entry on Al Rouge, but we're gonna have to see. So let's do a lap. Okay, you don't have the race lap apps overlays. I see now. I used to have that one. I'm not sure why it's not working. Let's restart it. Let's see if it's working now. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So these are the overlays that I'm using for races and everything, and when I'm streaming races. Okay, let's go. Let's drive. So I don't know. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT or I'm gonna ask a mechanical engineer, because the view and like depth perception that I have in VR is going to be so much more. So I will be so much better at trail braking and using all the information on track and on the car. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the chat, obviously. Here was missing, VR is awesome. Yeah, VR is awesome, yeah, that's what we need. Let's beat up those tires a little bit. So, to give you a little bit of an idea, when I'm in VR, everything is so much more easy, and I don't have to think about a lot of things. And I can, the real weapon is the consistency and the amount of information that I get and the inputs I need to use to get into those laps, keeping it clean, and also the awareness with other cars when I'm driving offline. Competitively, I mean offline in a sense of like being off the racing line. Let's see what lap time we can come up with. I'm really curious, to be honest. I feel a lot of pressure because I said half a second. So let's see if that's actually true. Really curious if I'm gonna have this problem now Rouge again. I had to lift, so there's a little bit of setup problem. So if you cannot go flat out on a Rouge, it's safe to say you have a setup problem. Yeah, the Ripper, I know. The pressure is on. Give me a few laps, okay? It's late at night, yeah? I was working all day with the kids and... Okay, they're all excuses, don't worry. I will get into 217s again. Pressure is on, yes. Oh, 218, no! Screwing up this first corner, basically. There's like 3/10 there. So that's our rouge, yeah. It's a little bit more tricky to get it right, but we obviously did. Voila! That's how, like, I had to focus, obviously, but we 270.5, yeah? So that's how you do it. Like 2.2, 3/10, and still few mistakes. So yeah. The amazing thing, what a fast lap. I can feel just as fast as, yeah, there it is. So, and that's just the first attempt. And if we get into some sort of a rhythm, then, bruh, it just keeps going. So, yeah, awesome. John Sam, yes, hello. So, let's do that in a Porsche. Let's see what happens then. So, it's important to, I think it's important to keep this in practice mode and not like the hot lap, because it's a little bit of a, let's get Porsche. Where are you, mate? Porsche, you cannot see this. This is the, I'm working a way to get like, you can see everything in the VR headset, but it's a little bit strange with the, with the HP Reverb to get that working. Let's see if we can do that. Also a great lap time in the Porsche, yeah? So we have the Porsche here. And by the way, for me, this is way more fun. I really feel like I'm in a race car now instead of being in my man cave on a screen. This is the most, and it keeps me racing as well. I will never ever stop doing this. Was it the level 4 low downforce setting? Well done, great stream. Gonna head off up at 5 AM. Thanks again, bro. Keep up the great content. Ratmaster 3. You know, I'm really happy that you came and that you were engaging in the chat. Really appreciate it. Have a good one. I'm really close to purchasing a VR headset, but I have never tested it, so I don't know if my eyes get too tired. Thanks, man. I just did a few laps, and it was my line a little bit of a trail and error, and it seems to hit turn 16 most flat now. Can't thank you enough. Awesome, mate. Awesome. Amazing stream. Thanks, Anna. Nick. Awesome, you people. What a love. Absolutely great. So, let's do another lap with the low downforce setting of the Porsche and see if I can improve upon. Let's get level 5, by the way. Most potential for great speeds. Okay, fuel levels 3 and 3. Tires. Okay, let's go. 216. Yeah, that would be something. I did 216s with the McLaren, which is pretty overpowered on Spa. But this car can also be super quick, but Hear that sound, mate. Come on. Let's see if we can get this car under control as well. It's definitely going to be harder than in a Lexus. I'm also not afraid for some oversteer in VR because I can feel the oversteer coming as well. So I see someone, you're like struggling with VR, but I'm gonna have to warn you about what kind of graphics card you're running, especially with this game. iRacing or Automobilista will be way forgiving on your graphics card in VR, but just know that this sim is super heavy in VR. If I had to get a new one now, I would go for the Pimax. Or you can find the second-hand HP Reverb. I think the Quest 3 is also good. But let me explain a little bit about VR headsets as well. Maybe I'm gonna make a video about VR headsets as well at some point. My experience with it, sim racing. Because I'm doing ACC for 3 years and I'm doing it in VR for 3 years. Okay. I'm gonna be a little bit quiet because I need to concentrate a little bit. You understand, yeah? I will respond to the chat within 2 minutes, yeah? Oh, well, this is definitely not going to be 217. A little bit late on the brakes, so one more lap. Let's get used to this car again. Oh, by the way, if you want to learn sim racing, I would definitely not recommend switching cars all the time. You want to stick with one and maybe take that to all these different tracks, yeah, instead of me, what you see me doing, pushing all these different cars. Let's say I came from the Lexus, now I really need to adapt to this again, and it's a lot of mental processing to squeeze out the best lap time and feel the handling of the car, because in the Lexus I really need to push in the corner, and this one I actually need to let it fall in the corner, and so obviously after Camel Straight I had to I screwed that up because I need to get my inputs adjusted to this car. So no, man, it's not a heart attack, man. It's sweet love. It's there's only love in this car. You know, tough love, really. Really push the brakes here. Okay, one more try, people. One more try. Low downforce setup. Not happening tonight, boys. I give up. It's not happening. First, I need to watch the chat. The Ripper, maybe a strange question, but why don't you use a lot of esports VR? Well, the Ripper, I think it has something to do with stability. You know, it's not always reliable. Sometimes you lose tracking all of a sudden. And then you're like on top of the car or underneath the track. That sometimes happens. It's also very straining for the eyes if you're not used to it. But the Tortellini guy is driving in VR, yeah? And if you get used to the screens, you can do it. But I think that's the reason. And for streaming, it's a big disconnect streaming. I mean, do you enjoy streaming like when I have the headset on? I'm not sure. You lose a lot of like interact like social. It's like a wall between us all of a sudden. I'm also gonna see that in the analytics when this stream is over. Maybe there will be a kind of a drop off. I don't know. If people don't like to watch that. I don't know. I'm gonna try this one more time, okay? And then I'll call it a day because then we're already streaming. Like I never streamed this long. I'm actually really enjoying myself, so that's good. I think. Let's try this again. One more time. Yeah, and that's why I also don't want to, like, I really was thinking about, okay, I need to have triples if I want to stream or whatever, but I know I'm not gonna drive as much or enjoy sim racing as much or be competitive as much without the VR headset. And like, you should see what I am seeing. There's no way to explain an optimized 4090 setting in VR in a Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's if you get used to this, you will not go back. I've seen a lot of comments also with the Jimmy Broadbent. He has like a VR video, and people say if you once you get used to it and you have the system to do it, you will never go back to screens. It can be that amazing. It really is. Das Automatic, what is up? The PC series? What's that about, mate? I'm not fully understanding that. We're just so this is a friend of the Ripper. Ah, I see. Okay, good. Where was I? I was going to do a hot lap in the Porsche in VR, and a little bit struggling, so I'm increasing the brake bias again. Go a little bit more early on the brakes, and then I will hope to get like a 2:17 lap time. That will be the target. Need to brake still more early. So with the stop speed, we're not really suffering. to 17.7 with a little bit of focus, and it's already pretty late, so yeah, awesome. So you like, it's not super obvious, but you can see how lap times are just, you know, going down in VR. And VR, like, I'm used to this, obviously. If you do this for the first time, it's a little bit disorienting. Oh, so Das Automatic, Ripper, Legends, your friends, yeah? Arnout, your videos are such a big help. Keep up the good work. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. So we built some setups. I showed some cars, not the most popular ones. So, yeah. I might be wrong, but I feel that you do the same time in a Mustang with less effort and stress than the Porsche. Good observation, Nick. Absolutely true. But that doesn't mean it's like giving you the same satisfaction. I need to work a lot harder in a Porsche. Yeah. Yes. If I do a track with a lot of corners, and let's say, I don't know, take a few tracks, yeah, different corners with a lot of corners, then the Mustang is also going to be a disadvantage. But yeah, obviously at Spa, the Mustang is pretty freaking quick. So good. What else? I think this is it, mate. I think we're like 3 hours in now. So maybe I will do, I don't know when I'm going to stream again. It's very hard to know when I'm going to do it again. But also I'm going to check maybe the comments down below the video or the Discord, and I will just add up some questions, and then maybe I can answer them in the live stream. Let's just wait one more moment. We'll quit this stuff. Let's get rid of this stuff. All right. We're here. So yeah, I'm down for another stream like this on different tracks. Barcelona. It was awesome conversation. Great. That's good. That's awesome. Yeah. When I have time, I will do it. Obviously. So I will do this again at some time, and I will also pronounce it in Discord, and the Patreon. I will make the notion of that as well. And I want to thank everybody for watching. And there was also somebody in the support, really good. What also super helps me, if you just like check out the store, maybe you can purchase the preset. If I get some momentum in this store, this allows me to take, like, I'm almost at the point with the YouTube advertisement a little bit and some channel members that I can actually take a day off once a month to really get into making more and better videos. But obviously, yeah, the financial situation, I really need to work to make a living, feed the kids, and like have all this stuff, keeping it running. So a little bit of support that would really help me out to get more into this. And then I feel like I'm like a half a mile deep into setups and sim racing, but I want to go even deeper, and I also want to bring the explanations up to the surface so everybody can understand. I'm really working on a setup system that will solve every problem for you. Obviously, it's very complicated to fit that in a model, but I'm thinking about different presets to start from, and then makes minor tweaks, and then when the different presets are all together, they overlay in a way. So you can pick like 6 presets, and then you're gonna find your ways in between to your liking and skill level. This is something I'm working on, and So every morning I get out at 5 o'clock before I start working, and then I'm into like graphic design, try to figure out how I can make this all fitting and proper. I'll also make more videos about this. So anyways, guys, I want to thank you for being here with me tonight, and I wish you all a good night, evening, or day, whatever you are, and see you in the next one, man. Goodbye.